Welcome, everybody, back to Sterling's World, getting your questions answered by people from around the world. I have Lou with me today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the coronavirus and what's going on in Venezuela, where she's from, and she'll tell you about that in a second. But for a little update, we're at 5.5 million cases around the world, and it's still going up. A lot of countries are now coming out of quarantine, which is really good, but I hope that this second hump that everyone's talking about does not come back. But if it does, I hope we are prepared for that. So that's a little bit update of what's going on. It is May 24th, 2020, if anyone's watching this from the future. And yeah, we're still covering this stuff. So Lou, what's going on? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yeah, sure. Nice to meet you, everyone. So my name is Lou. Well, Lou is my nickname. Venezuelana is my name. So I met David this morning, and we were talking on Instagram for a while. And I also have a podcast. It's called the Solo Female Travel Podcast. And I am from Venezuela. I currently live in the States. That's why we have Wi-Fi to do this interview. But so yeah, but all my family and my friends are back in Venezuela. So, when David told me about, that he wanted to do this interview, I reached out to my family and friends to being able to provide the best up-to-date information about what is going on in Venezuela and the coronavirus. So yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. This is going to be fun since we just met each other and everything. It's going to be nice. So what's going on in Venezuela? I sent you the questions before, so you have them and you can get them, we can kind of rattle them off and get through them quickly so that everyone gets informed. But the first one would be, what was the reaction of the general public when it first broke out, I guess, in China, and then as it made its way through Europe and then down to South America? How was the general public kind of reacting during that time?
Okay, so something that you have to know about Venezuelans in general is that we're very resilient, and we have been living in a hostile situation for about 20 years. And it has gotten worse in the past few years. So it's like, oh yeah, there is a virus or this is happening. We're like, oh, okay, just something else happening. But then yeah, people worry. But then first, like when it started happening in China, we had this attitude of, oh, but that's too far. That won't get here. So yeah. But then once we start getting the few cases, it's like after the second case, the country was in lockdown, because we know, the government know, the citizens know, like that we don't have the system to take care of for the infected people. So it's like the country just start putting the government start just putting all these regulations, and people start also quarantining themselves.
You mean that they don't have like the infrastructure as far as like hospitals go and like the capacity to
Yeah,
react to the virus?
no, we don't.
Yeah, I told you I have a friend in Venezuela, and when I was traveling South America, I met a lot of people from Venezuela because I was there 2 years ago. So this was right when kind of everything started to really get bad in Venezuela. And I ran into
Yeah,
a lot of people traveling, and they said, yeah, the hospitals, a lot of them are like shut down, not even
yeah,
functional, not even working. People aren't going in there. People are having babies in the streets. That's what she said. I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. This was like a woman that I met in Foz do Iguaçu
yeah,
in Brazil, Argentina. Yeah, and she said she had gone there with her two kids, and she said that story to me. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Super crazy.
yeah. We have those. I mean, we have been having those crazy stories for some time now, and it's like the ones who could emigrated, but then the ones who couldn't stayed, and I just like, even myself, like I am so surprised of how resilient the people still living there are, and like how positive they are. And they're like, yeah, like we have the virus, but it's okay. Like we go with masks and we wash our hands. But even though we can find soap to wash our hands, we just, we don't touch anything. And just one person in the household goes to the supermarket. But something that the government did is that they set up military stations between states. So it's like people are not allowed to travel either. So if you want to travel to a different state or city, you need like an, if it is for a medical condition, you need an order saying that, hey, like, this person has to travel to this state, to this hospital, to this clinic, to this private clinic, because hospital really don't work. But to get this surgery. So that's the only way that you can cross the states. But if just because you want to go visit someone, no.
You can't just
You
go to the
gotta stay
beach.
home. No.
Yeah, so when you get to these government checkpoints, are they just checking for the proof that you can travel, that you need to go somewhere, or are they also doing what some countries are and testing your temperature and that kind of thing, or how's that going?
No, they're not testing temperatures.
Are they
Just
testing anything? Are they doing any kind of testing?
they are just in very specific places. But it's like only few places in the country. And you still have to pay for those, and the common citizen don't have the money to afford those. So let's just say that no, they're not doing the testing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look because it says when you look at Worldometer, for example, it says Venezuela is at 1,000 total cases. So I guess it's very hard to say that this is accurate when you have Brazil, for example, has like over 100,000 cases already, and they're pretty much neighbors.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that information is accurate. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't really know the numbers for many things. So like mortality rate or natality rate, we don't really have those numbers either that
Yeah.
are 100% accurate.
Um, did you ask your parents for like a day in the life of Venezuela at the moment? Like walk through a day in the life?
I didn't ask her. I didn't ask them. They just told me when I called them. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how this is gonna sound, but I call my parents once a week because it was really stressing me out and giving me anxiety talking to them, because it's they're you know normal services like water, electricity, they're out of power and out on water most of the day. So it's like they only get electricity or water like 4 hours a day, and sometimes they go 48 hours without any of those. So, and now that they won't have DirecTV, which is like the how do you call those, like the
Direct
communication.
TV, yeah, it's like the
Oh,
satellite TV stuff. Same thing.
yeah, that like last week it was out of the
So
country.
no more telenovelas.
No more. My mom was like, I don't know what am I gonna do. I was like, Mom, you should read then.
I love this is one thing I love so much when I was going through. So I spent over a year, I think it was like a year and 6 months. It ended up being in South America and in Central America. And I love you guys, like just in general, the South American culture, the South American mentality. There are a few countries in South America that are a bit different, like Chile is a bit different. Um, and then you have your bordering countries, which are very strange, like Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they just don't belong in South America. The
No
only
one.
countries,
Yeah.
yeah, the only countries that don't speak Spanish or Portuguese just stuck there at the top right next to Venezuela. But the whole country is just, the whole continent pretty much is just so amazing and like so positive. Like you said, there's so much going on in Venezuela that people don't even know about, and we're not going to even talk about some of the things that are happening. Um but they are always still so positive. Like I call my friend Michael, he's there and he's like, yeah, we're all just keeping social distance, but I'm talking to my friends, we're having drinks on the phone at night. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they just like always positive, always smiling. And I think this is one thing you can't, you can't even imagine being in America or something like this, like the positivity, the family orientation, stuff like that that happens in South America. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it so much.
No, it is. Yeah, definitely. Uh,
um Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, that I miss that.
Yeah, so what's it like for you? Because you're super social, I'm sure. A lot of South Americans are very family oriented, very social with their friends. I mean, you talk to them once a week. So what's it like not just being in quarantine now, but being on in Chicago in quarantine, in America in Chicago in quarantine? Is it hard for you?
Well, actually, one of the main, I used to live in California before. I used to live in Orange County. I didn't like it.
It depends. Were you at the beach or were you like in the middle of Orange County?
No, I was in Huntington Beach.
Okay. You didn't like it?
No, I don't surf, so
Oh, okay.
um so it was really hard for me to make friends for some reason. So that was why I moved to Chicago, because I had some old friends from Venezuela, and also like I live with two of them that are my roommates. So from that part, it's been easy because it's like, oh, I am quarantining with my friends. But yeah, from the other part, we're also like, yeah, we're very friendly, community oriented, and we're very touchy. It's like we're always hugging or like kissing. So I really miss hugging someone. So that would be like
Oh,
the
come here. We can.
virtual hugs.
Yeah, this is actually one of the reasons why I was really nervous about um, South America getting the coronavirus,
Yeah,
and not just South America, but you saw what happened right in Italy. There, it's almost a very similar culture with greetings, for example, the kiss on the cheek, the hug, this kind of thing. And I'm also a bit nervous about what's happening in the Middle East as well, because they're
yeah,
also very touchy, very outside, always touching and kissing, and hey, even the guys will hold hands on the streets and
yeah.
stuff like that. So, um, are you a bit nervous for what's going to happen or what's happening in Venezuela once the virus hits it all, or how do you feel about it?
I mean, even with the current situation, I feel that the people is managing it in a good way. Like they are conscious about that the system is broken, like the health system doesn't work. So it's like, okay, we know we gotta stay home and take certain precautions. So it's like, for example, so from my dad's side, all my family's together, and like, for example, only one person goes to buy groceries, and like, which is usually my aunt. So what she does is like she uses gloves, she uses mask. It's like she changes before going out, and then changes again before going into the house and take a shower. So it's like, unlike them, many other people. So, and that also, that thing that people cannot travel across states, I think is really helping as well. And I know, like, from what I heard, is that most of the cases are in the Margarita Island, which is an island.
Hmm.
So it's like most of the cases are there, so like people are contained and they cannot go to the mainland.
Well, it
Um,
sounds like they're going to be on quarantine for a while, actually.
yeah, it's like no one knows, the government doesn't say anything about it. And they're like actually just taking advantage of it just to keep people at home. And yeah, so, but no, people are very aware of how serious this is, and they are taking, like the the precautions on their own. There are no, like they haven't waited for the government to say anything. They just like, okay,
Yeah.
we got to do this, and we will, and we are, and we're all gonna stay safe. And they're eating a lot of citrus. That's good. We're a tropical country, so we have a lot of oranges and coconuts and mangoes. So those have a lot of
Uh,
vitamins.
I love mangoes. In South
Oh, me
America,
too.
it was like a dream for me walking through Brazil and just like picking a mango off a tree and eating it.
I know. Yeah, it's the same from where I'm from.
I'm sorry. I know the more we talk about this, probably the more homesick you're gonna get. So,
Oh, it's okay. No worries. I'm good.
do you know anyone there that's gone remote as far as work goes?
That has gone remote.
Like, for example, our jobs. I know there's not many jobs that are actually
Yeah.
functioning in the country, but is the government, I guess it's a two-part question. So one, is
Hmm.
the government helping more people now that the coronavirus is going on, helping with rent, with money, stuff like that. And two, I can see in your face already. And two is the people that do have jobs or did have jobs, did they try to transition to more of like a remote um, work environment, working from home, maybe government officials, stuff like this that have actual jobs that need to keep working and keep functioning, not like a restaurant, for example, or a grocery store, nothing like this, but maybe some tech company in Venezuela or some government position, stuff like that. Were they able to go remote? Do you know anyone that has done that?
Um, well, first, something that you guys need to know is that internet is very unstable. So like it's really bad. Um, so I haven't met anyone that like in my family or my friends that have gone remote. I mean, I know a few people that they are like trying to host like Zoom meetings and stuff. But it's like they have businesses here and there. So, and they were working remotely before because it's like the people that could work remotely before did because of the manifestations, the riots. Sorry, I don't know if it's manifestations or riots. It's like they couldn't leave their homes anyway. So they adapt like before the coronavirus. Um, but then yeah, I don't know anyone else. Like I know some of my friends that are business owners, but they do it on like they go to the physical place. What they do is like they're working like few hours a day, and it's like they don't let anyone to enter the store. It's like they, oh, do you want this? Like, okay, text me or tell me from outside, and then I'll give you I leave the bag outside, and then you pick it up and take it. um yeah, but no, I no. And when it comes to the government, I don't know what those guys are
Nobody
doing,
knows.
but
When it comes to the government, just yeah, nobody knows. Nobody's known for 20 years, so who's gonna know now?
it's just a surprise. Yeah.
The business owners you're talking about are people that have like chinos or like whatever they call those, like bodega. What do you
Yeah,
call this? What do you call this in Venezuela? It's always different in every country.
like negocios.
Negocio is like a business, but you're talking about like they order something and give it to you outside. So is it
Tiendas.
like tiendas? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Tiendas.
See, see. Yeah, so my friends have different, stores, tiendas. So yeah, and they have
Okay.
been adapting. So yeah, take it like, yeah, but it hasn't been like going fully remote like it is here in the States. Like, oh yeah, like I don't even know if we have tech companies in the country, to be honest.
I was
Like
I
I
was
know like
wondering I was wondering that if you guys had some businesses there, like tech companies, for example. I know one tech company you have there. You'll laugh at when you hear this actually.
what is it?
So we just built a website. It was what I was programming for earlier. I showed you, not just like the Instagram stuff that I was doing, but we built a business to help people find their money that they're missing out there. Like if the government owes you money, we built a program that goes around the internet and looks for their money that they're owed, and then we give them their money back for free. It's just going to be for donations if someone wants to donate. But what we noticed was one of our issues with scraping the internet and like going through different documents and stuff like this is a lot of them have like this check this box if you're not a robot. You know this stuff?
Hmm.
So this is what you're gonna love is there's actually a company in Venezuela that specializes in this I don't even know if it's a niche, but they specialize in going through and checking the boxes, and like a human picks out the patterns, and then they use like pattern recognition to then, if that ever comes up again, to automatically check the box and do the thing, right? And so it's like it's really crazy. I love it. It's very cheap, but I'm still happy that we're giving someone in Venezuela money when we do it. It's like I think it's like $1 for 1,000 of these boxes that they fill out, or $2.
Well, a dollar is a lot in the country right now.
Yeah.
So
So, but I mean, and it's nothing. Someone just has the internet, and you say, "Hey, this checkbox came up." It sends it directly to them. A human actually checks the boxes and sends the correct answer back, and then it proceeds with the website. I
that's
love it.
amazing.
I
No,
think
that's amazing.
I think it's so cool. Maybe, I mean, obviously for us, a dollar for 1,000 of these boxes is probably going to be like $1 an hour or less. But yeah, in Venezuela, like you said, that's a lot. The problem also in Venezuela is like even if you have a dollar to buy food, there's sometimes not even food to buy, which is a bad issue as well.
Yes.
So they do have businesses in Venezuela. That's good news.
They still have some businesses. Yeah. People are reinventing a lot. So that's also what I really admire about the people that left the country. They're just finding ways to reinvent themselves and their businesses, and just keep going. They're so resilient.
For sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
Tough.
I'm just amazed every time I talk to the people that is left there. So yeah.
Yeah, tough people. I went to school with my friend Kevin Hung. He's Chinese Venezuelan.
Mm.
But yeah, he went through UC San Diego with me, electrical engineer, photonics. Now he works for like General Atomics, I think, doing some really cool engineering projects. But yeah, from Venezuela, family still, grandparents, everything still live in Venezuela.
Yeah. No, I guess like when you come from a place where you don't have where not all your needs are met, and then you come here where it's like you have more than you will have ever imagined or need. You're just trying to take advantage of every opportunity you can find.
Yeah.
So
You mentioned Huntington Beach earlier. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what happened to me last weekend.
okay.
Over was it? No, the weekend after Mother's Day. So yeah, last weekend I went down to Huntington Beach, down to Newport Beach, and we went to go see this bioluminescence, like the water that lights up blue, which was
Hmm.
going on, but we missed it. We ended up not seeing it. What a bummer. But when we were down there, you wouldn't believe what was going on. So you know about the protests, of course, going on at Huntington Beach. You know?
I do not know. I don't watch news.
Oh, are there any protesting going on in Chicago for the lockdown or no?
Maybe, but I don't know.
You don't know either. Okay. So there are a lot of protests, and I don't watch the news either, but every time I log on or post something on Facebook or Instagram or
Hmm.
something, somebody's saying like, look at these idiots, whatever. And I don't know, it's
Mm.
their free will. They can do what they want. I just hope they do it safely. But anyways, I went down there and like it was crowded, just like a normal day. It was weird. It was like everyone was out. It was the evening time and nobody had masks on, like parents walking their kids with no masks on their face. The little kid, like 3 years old with no mask. And I told my mom, I'm like, roll up the windows. Like, I don't even want to be breathing the same air as these people at the moment because like they're
Yeah.
walking around with nothing. In on top of that, furthermore, with that kind of mindset,
Hmm.
my brother got a message from a nurse that works in Temecula, which is out here near me. Oh, you might know where it is, being living
Yeah.
in Orange County. So they're now sending people up from San Diego, from Encinitas and San Diego, because their hospitals are full. So they're now sending people all the way up to Temecula, which is like 40 minutes from San Diego, sending them up there because the hospitals are full right when we are starting to, loosen regulations. I guess in the next week on the 1st, we're going to start loosening more of our regulations. And it's like the hospitals are already overran with people and we're going to start loosening them. So I know maybe your parents see this, or maybe someone in Venezuela sees this, and I wonder what they think. What some people might think of Americans when we're exercising our freedom of speech for sure, but why? And did you happen to ask that question that I wrote? Like, what do you guys think of Americans? What was their answer?
But they don't know anything that is going on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The latest news about that we got from America was was that, Trump wanting to invade the country, and you know so
Invade Venezuela.
yeah, the
Well, that's what we didn't want to talk about, but I think it's going on at the
oh
moment.
no.
Well, I mean, I would love to talk about this kind of stuff. Obviously, I want people to be informed, not just on the coronavirus, but informed about everything. And it's hard to get a real idea of what's going on in Venezuela if you're American looking out from the outside in. Luckily, I have friends all over the world, and now I have a new friend in Chicago as well. But I'm able to ask my friends really what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, my friend Michael told me there's like some stuff going on with Trump's administration meeting with like some rebels, and now the rebels are acting out in Venezuela to hopefully overthrow the president, and America will appoint a new president. It's like this whole thing that I don't know. I'd rather stay preoccupied with the with the coronavirus and try not to think about these things.
Yeah, it's like we over there, we breathe politics, and like people are obsessed with, when is the president gonna go, and like is Trump going to invade the country? Like, are we gonna be free someday? We have the highest inflation in the world. Like, when are we, gonna find a solution for this? So it's like, I guess my point here is that we're so busy thinking about all those stuff that is like coronavirus. It's just like, ah, okay, another thing, another problem to the pile,
Oh my goodness.
so yeah. uh but yeah, I asked, my family and friends, and they were like, no, like we haven't heard anything like about Americans are dealing with this. And they also, but are just like, just stay. I mean, my mom is the one that was like, well, I heard that there are so many cases in Chicago, so you just please stay safe. And but that's it. It's just like, stay safe. And yeah, I was like, yeah, mom, like I'm staying safe. I upgraded my insurance, and like I'm doing all this and haven't left home. And they're like, okay, cool, eat oranges. I'm like, okay.
Get your
It's just
vitamin
like very,
C.
yeah, it's just like such a simple way to, view life. And that's it. They're like, yeah, of course, just stay safe. And they're probably more worried about how my feelings are about being isolated than the actual situation in the country or in Illinois.
Yeah. Well, it's so I like I said, I love the South American mentality, like family, friends, this kind of orientation. So like, yeah, just chuck another problem at them. They'll still smile and be happy. And
Yeah,
the important thing is though, they'll still take it seriously. I think that's the biggest thing is it's just another thing that they have to take seriously. Here,
yeah,
I feel like it's just another thing that we don't have to take seriously, which is kind of the contrary because I think just in South America in general, I was scared for them, saying like with my friends in Argentina and Brazil, um, I was saying like, what's gonna happen because you're very social, you're very together as a community, but you also don't necessarily trust your government. So what would happen if someone says, "Hey, we need a lockdown"? And the reaction was totally opposite than what I thought. I thought they would say, you need a lockdown. And they say, what the hell? Like, we don't trust our government anyways. Why are we going to lock down now? But it actually was the complete opposite. The family and the friends and the love that they have in South America for their family and for their friends stopped them from doing something stupid. Like, even though our government says not to, still, if I get my friend sick, I'm responsible for that. Like there's so much pride in family and so much love for the community that you don't even want to go outside and risk it, even though you might not trust the government. I love
yeah.
this. I love this. I need to go back. I think I'm going to leave and go live in South America again.
Well, not yet. Just wait until things get better.
Yeah, for sure.
uh,
Um,
but yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I know like we're very aware that we'd rather, do the right thing now and wait, and than, just like for example, in my family, like my grandma died at the beginning of the quarantine. of the beginning of the lockdown and stuff. And my mom and my brothers were like, well, we loved her, but we don't want to go to the funeral because it's like we just rather stay home. And just like my aunt that was the one living with my grandma was the only one that went to the funeral, and it was very sad, but they couldn't be together. But they know that it was better to stay apart for the greater good. So
Wow.
yeah.
Was that coronavirus related with your grandmother or no?
No. She was old.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's okay, don't worry. It's just the resiliency. I'm like, every time I tell an American like, oh, this happened, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear this. I'm like, it's okay, that happens. Like, I don't know,
It's life.
Yeah, it's life. So yeah, I mean, it's okay, but thank you
Good.
For your condolences.
Well, amazing for your perseverance. Your mentality is beautiful. Good.
Oh, thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add? I think we've knocked all the things off the list. I mean, there are some questions I wanted to ask about hospitals, the environment in the hospitals, but we already covered it by saying the hospitals are pretty much
I mean, if you want to hear more sad news, like, sure, I can tell you about it, how things are in the hospital. I have some friends that are doctors that are living in the States now, and most of my family are in the medical field. So they just told me that, I mean, for example, my cousins that are doctors, they just emigrated to other countries because they just couldn't stand the situation in Venezuela. It's like, they don't have the right infrastructure, like actually, if you go to the hospital, it's like there are higher risk to get infected by just whatever, not only the virus. Also now, like, the doctors don't want to pay the nurses because of the inflation, so it's like they're doing the entire surgery themselves. So if you want to, I have one of my closest friends here, like, her dad got a surgery not too long ago, and they were really worried about that. It's like, we got to find the right doctor that is honest, that has integrity, that we know is going to do everything right, that will have assistance, that will have all the equipment. And of course, it was one of the most expensive in the countries, but that gave them peace of mind that this is the doctor that is going to do the right things. Because imagine just one person doing an entire surgery. Of course, something's going to go wrong.
Wow.
So yeah, and I mean, and sometimes there's like so many problems that if you go there, and it's not something that serious. It's like, if you're not dying, they're not gonna see you unless you have the money to pay. So yeah.
So if you're not that, but you also have these little clinics as well that we don't necessarily have in the States.
Yes, ambulatorios.
Yeah.
So we do, but still, like, they don't have doctors, they don't have equipment, they don't have money. Like, for example, when I went there last year, like, I have to go with some family to one of those, and we had to bring everything. We had to bring alcohol, we had to bring the thing that you put in your veins. I don't know the name.
Like an IV?
We had to bring those. We had to bring soap for them to wash their hands. Like,
you had to supply the hospital for them to help you.
Yeah, they were just pretty much lending us the doctor with experience. Wow. And so yeah, and that was last year. I cannot just imagine how it is right now. So,
different. It's a different world. Sounds like.
Very, yeah.
Wow. Have you heard anything about crime, anything like that, going up or down? I mean,
it's always going up.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I wanted to go so bad. You know that? Like, I was in Ghana, and I was about to like take a sneaky little like jungle trek into Venezuela just to see Cascada Angel, the Angel Falls.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Yeah. Isn't it Cascada Angel? No.
El Salto Angel.
Oh, Santo. Okay. So I was going to go there, and then this was 2 years ago. And then everyone's like, dude, just don't go. You're
No, and
so, yeah.
you're so white.
Say
You're
it.
a very easy target.
I was going to
Like,
say it, but it sounded better you saying it. Okay, good.
if you get to go with me, I will have to put like a hat on you and glasses and maybe like some tanning spray.
I was going to say I'll have to go get a spray tan before I go.
Yeah, and dye your hair black.
Oh my goodness. I think even if I dye my hair black, like in the sun, it's gonna go back to blonde again. Always does. Like after the summer, I look like albino. Like my hair's like white. Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, my eyebrows are already white. Can you imagine like white with a tan? I start to look like a Oompa Loompa or something.
You are going to look so great.
Like an angel, maybe, kind of.
Oh,
No?
okay. If you want it.
All right. Is there anything you want to add anymore? Maybe like a positive, some inspiration, some positivity. I know that these kind of topics are a bit down in the dumps. Like everything's kind of sad at the moment as far as this coronavirus goes. But a lot of my friends have been offering like inspiration. You know, hang in there, stay in there. We're all in there together. Is there anything you'd like to add, Lou?
I mean, I always believe that we should focus on what we can control instead of what we cannot control. And yeah, right now everything that is going on is really sad, and but I mean, just think about what you can do for yourself. Like if you're at home, you have more free time. Instead of focusing on those negative news, just like see what you can do for yourself. Like maybe reading, meditation, uh, eating better, I don't know, losing weight, stay more connected with your family and friends through video. So yeah, focus on the things that you can control, and please follow the regulations. And I know summer is here and we all want to go out, but we gotta be, we gotta be careful. And our actions right now are gonna matter in the future. So we don't want this to keep spreading. So yeah, just do your part, stay home, and take care of yourself.
Great. Love it. Well, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It was fun.
We'll do it again. Hopefully we do it on a different topic next time and we'll have a little bit more fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone listening, and thank you so much for inviting me over. And yeah, it's always great to talk about my country so people can know more about it. It's not only about Miss Universe and socialism. So
well, cool. Yeah, seriously. And speaking of that, this podcast is done, but we're going to do another one with you on your channel. So I'll make sure also to link that. If you enjoyed this, head over to Lou's channel as well and check her out. That'll be super fun. We're going to talk about more positive things like travel and getting back to things that she's interviewing about. Awesome.